Fat Todd Jumper, Case File 31. It was the Thanksgiving of 1992. My grandmother and uncle had come up for Thanksgiving dinner to spend the day with us. During the day, my grandmother started talking to me about aliens for some reason, and I started telling her of the things that I had seen when I was little. Then that night, I remember being awakened by a noise. I first noticed that my computer monitor was reflecting a bright green light. And then my whole room was filled with a bright green light. My first thought was, uh-oh, they're back. Then I again was paralyzed, as it had happened to me when I was 12. I was looking out from my bedroom window, and I stared face to face with the gray alien. There were two more behind him. I tried to yell, but again my jaw was tight and my tongue was stiff. It looked at me with those scary big black eyes, like it looked into my soul. I felt evil and fear, and I'm surprised I did not release my bowels. Then the light consumed me, and I was thrown out of my bed and into the light. While this was happening, I was praying in my head, and all of a sudden, I was walking down the street in front of my house with an angel. This angel was a magnificent looking man. He was about 7 feet tall, and the bright white light around him was as pure as freshly fallen snow, and it radiated about the entire front yard like a morning sunrise. His face was gentle and happy, and his eyes looked at me lovingly. His whole countenance was just amazing beyond description. He placed his hand upon my shoulder and pointed toward the house. I looked over to my bedroom window and saw the three beings still being in my window, hovering above the ground in a bright green beam of light, which seemed to be coming from nowhere. The angels stayed by my side and protected me. I tried to cast the small gray aliens away with my priesthood, but they were still there. I was so angry. The things that had made my life miserable since I was a child, now there within my view, and I saw how weak they were, how small, and I thought, these beings so small, yet their power is enough to stop me in my tracks. But this time I was free. This time I could harm them, and I did. I ran to one and grabbed it by the neck and started to strangle it. I could feel its spine coming through the back of its neck, and it let out a horrible screeching noise. They were not very tall, only about 4 feet high, but they hovered in this light up to my height until they were next to my face. Their skin was like a reptile's, cold and leathery. Their damn eyes got to me the most. Big, black, liquid eyes. Just 2 holes for a nose and barely a mouth. Just a slit. Their bodies were not very proportional as ours are. Their arms hung down a little past their knees, and their heads seemed to be too large for their neck to support it. The angels stood by as I went into a rampage and killed all 3 of them. They were so fragile. The angels smiled as if I had done the right thing, and then proceeded to lay the dead bodies onto the lawn. I watched the green light fade away and saw no light except the brilliant radiance of the angel. The angel knelt down at the bodies, which seems to be changing from gray into a sick yellowish color. I watched as the angel opened his robes and unsheathed a golden sword and began to cut away the tops of the beings' heads, and their brains came out in an upper and lower section. The angel arose and spoke, "Behold, they are nothing to us. They are nothing but creatures of evil." Then a blue light, a conduit from the sky, actually transported them into small balls of light and took them away. So I have no evidence that I actually killed them. We, the angel and I, then entered the house, and in the kitchen there were 3 more aliens. One came up to me with a long, shiny metal rod that seemed to have a laser beam coming out of it. The alien stuck it in my side, my left side of my neck, and it stung really, really bad. And then I could not move. So the angel touched me, and I could move again. I then immediately punched the alien square in the face, breaking its neck and killing it instantly. The other 2 stood by looking at their fallen comrade. Their moves was very quick, and their heads rotated almost as fast as a lizard. The angel held up his arm and spoke in the name of Jesus Christ, "I command you to depart." Then both the creatures immediately fell to the floor, and these gray aliens were again taken up into a beam of light in the same manner as before. Then the angel covered my eyes and then uncovered my eyes. I was all of a sudden on top of a large mountain, looking down over a large valley filled with aliens and strange-looking humans and their spacecraft. Then I saw hundreds of people dressed in white walking on the mountain with us, as if they had come to watch. And then a voice from heaven said, "Behold, these evil ones have perverted the ways of the Lord and deceived many and fornicated with my children. They shall have no place in my kingdom, nor in this world to come." Then a fire came down from the sky and consumed all of the beings and all of the strange humans and all of the UFOs, and nothing was left. The angel then spoke, saying, "I had seen enough." And he again placed his hand over my eyes, and I awoke from my bed, and it was morning.